viewers all over the world, whether you're watching us from Northern Africa or Southeast Asia, this is a platform, this is another day that not only heaven is set aside, but our Father in the Lord has allowed us to meet and to understand how and what makes an enigma. Wherever you are, I want you to take out your notebook, set out the time, and focus on what you're about to hear. And with that, I welcome you to another episode of The Voice. My co-host, it is always a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I heard you say enigma, and it has some capacity of influence.
There's some capacity of influence.
Right, Papa? Could you explain for us why the enigma?
Okay. When you say someone is an enigma, you are trying to talk about the mystery part of the person. Because whether an enigma, whether idiosyncrasy, or when you say somebody is Kabbalistic, you say somebody is an enigma, you're trying to say this person is mysterious. You're trying to say this person is not easy to understand. So the enigma is something that makes somebody outstanding. Somebody has something outstanding that is not in the norm, is not ordinary, kind of extraordinary ability. So, and not everybody can be an enigma. But again, anybody can be an enigma based on your ability to showcase something that is in the outside world, something that is beyond what the normal human capacity can do. Yes.
So with that word coming into play, we would like to understand how you grew your influence, because people will always be attracted to what stands out. You are not only an individual who is understood within the shores of Kenya, but regions closer to the boundary and the region of Kenya listen to your voice. We would like to understand how you became the voice. How did you transition, if there was any, into being such an influence within the region?
To begin with, Kenya has had powerful prophets in the past. Just but to mention one woman that was a prophet over the nation, that when she speaks from the prophetic aspect, not only the church but even the government used to listen. Then something happened that for so many years now, because of age transition, seasons, the way season happens. So maybe it was her season then, and then now it has taken time to transition to have another person who can speak in her capacity. And that does not mean we don't have men and women of God. But again, even in our time, there were other men and women of God, but only one was picked by God. It is God who chooses men, but again, you have to be available, and you must say, I am willing. So then the Lord spoke to me, and the Lord said, I want to use you to speak my mind, not only to the Kenyan government, but to the governments of the world, to different groups of people, the church, and the governors. And the Lord did something so extraordinary that even as I was growing up, I did not know that would happen. Let me say it for the benefit of clarity. There's a prophet in the Bible by the name of Hosea. And Israel went against the Lord. And God was so angry with Israel. So what did God do? God pushed the prophet to marry a prostitute. A very shameful act. So that the prophet can feel the shame God is feeling when his people behave in that manner. So then last year the Lord told me, I want you to do something like prophets, Hosea. So I'll take you into the political space, not because I want you to be a politician, but I want you to go and get first-hand information of what happens there, because until you are there, you will not know what happens there. You cannot correct a footballer when you're a cheerer by the sides. You must enter the field, try and run with the ball. So when you come outside, you can easily talk because you are there. So the Lord told me, as I did with Hosea, I will deal with you. So you go into that space, because there are 7 mountains of life. There's the governance, there's the church, there's the business, different mountains. So church is just but one of the mountains of life. So the Lord wanted me to experience different things. I've been into business, I am into church, I've never been to political space. Campaigning for somebody is different from you vying. So when you vie now, you get the real thing that happens. Because they say you can't win without witchcraft. If you go into politics, you must be a thief. You must kill somebody. So I was there and I didn't kill anybody. I didn't steal anything. Though I lost the election, but my target going was not to win. My target was God to go and teach me what I want to learn there. So what am I trying to say is this. I digressed just to explain something. To become a voice, you must speak from the point of revelation or from the point of information. Right? You cannot talk from what is not revealed, and you can't talk from what it is not earned as lesson. So either you have learnt it or it has been revealed. So the Lord said, my kind in the 21st century, if you have to speak to those in authority, because I have sent you to kings, but you must know how to navigate within the terrains of the kings. You must know the language they speak. Because yes, you are a man of God, but when you enter a kingdom where the king is seated, there is how you behave when you get there. So when I answer that question, how the enigma part has come to be an influence, and how did I become the voice? The Lord spoken to me. The Lord said, I want to use you to speak as my mouthpiece. Because remember, practically every prophet should be a voice to some people or to certain nations. So the Lord told me, you're going to be a voice not only to your members, but to the nation and to the nations of the world, and not only to the body of Christ, even to the governors. And there are times on record I've challenged government, and starting going forward, I'm going to do it a big time. I'm going to record things and be having them uploaded to correct things that are happening from the spiritual aspect as God leads. So God told me, you are going to speak on my behalf. So when you speak, I have spoken. Like he told Moses, you will take my place, then Aaron will take your place. So when you speak, Moses, I have spoken. So meaning God made Moses his voice. So when Moses is talking, it's not Moses talking, it's God speaking through Moses. So the Lord told me, you are going to be the voice over this generation. Because in the generation of the fathers we have, I can tell you without prophecy that by the year 2032, most of them either will be dead, they will not be there. Because they are 60, 70, some are sick, some are old. And with all due respect, it's the reality of life. Everybody, even me talking here, will one day die. Are we together? So we are the generation coming. So the Lord has prepared me ahead of that time. And the Lord has said, as days are going by, you're going to speak on my behalf. So when I speak to the nation, even from when I started until this revelation came, and now and going forward, I don't only speak at my capacity as Robert. I speak from the throne room perspective. Because I'm not speaking from my own voice. I am echoing the voice. Actually, I am projecting God. To project from a small source to a big aspect. So what you project is what is inside. So the God that is speaking through me is what I am projecting. So when I speak, it's not Robert speaking, it's God speaking through him. So I am his voice. And that's make me the voice.
Just as a follow-up, when was the first time that you began to realize your voice was echoing in foreign territory?
Foreign territories, I think, big time was 2019. 2019 to be precise. 2017, 2018, yes, but 2019 clearly. Clearly. So from 2019 till now, I've had to turn down some appointments, and not because I don't want to, but as a man who believes in the leading of the Spirit, I would want most times to follow what God is saying. When you can hear God, you try to minimize regrets. And the word I wish I knew, you try to minimize as much as you can, because the danger of not hearing God is exposing yourself to regrets. But if you can hear God, you have a privilege of avoiding some things. Even though you hear God, you can't hear him in everything, but what you can avoid, you try to avoid. So you better stay. You don't have to go and preach everywhere. I grew to understand that not every invitation I need to honor, and not every pulpit I must mount, and not every congregation I must preach to. So I came down. I still travel, but I don't travel as I used to, because I learned to have an assignment. a king has a jurisdiction. And every president, every king must work within a particular terrain. The word terrain comes from territory, comes from the word terrain. So you have your territory of operation. So once you master your territory, then now you can go into another man's territory. But I was busy into other people's spaces before I build and master my own space. Because, like the Bible says, a blind man cannot lead a blind man. So there are areas that your eyes must be clear before then you can go and clear other people's eyes.
I visited your Facebook page, and I saw you are really grown in numbers in terms of following, and I want to connect it to the ministry through which I personally encountered you. I was a product of your Facebook ministration, and you were actually teaching about hearing God's voice. And at that time, I remember you actually promised us that the following day you'll come back and continue with hearing God's voice. By then, I was under another pastor who also had an online teaching going on at that time. But what I had you teach on the day I met you was so itchy to my ear that the following day I was feeling like censoring my pastor to listen to you. Then I realized you were not there. I was actually so disappointed. So now that you have a bigger following, and now I'm testifying that I met you through Facebook, what do you plan to do with it? And can you really consider it as a tool for you again? And why have you not used it as much recently?
Okay. I would correct that. I'm using it as much, but not video. I'm more on the keyboard, more on the typing than on the video audio aspect. But I'm setting up to come back and do exactly that. I believe in maximizing the graces people have. And one of the burdens I have, if you check my Facebook page, you will realize that I have the grace to encourage the young upcoming preachers, train them, to help them know. I have this burden to make nobody somebody's. Because I believe you are not any big man if you have not made anybody anything. You become a big man when there are people who are nothing that you made something. So I believe in training pastors, training ministers, training leaders, because I know once I train one pastor, once I train one minister, once I train one leader, I have trained 100 or 300 that I couldn't reach, that this person will reach courtesy of my training. Oh, yes. So I know the Facebook ministry has been one of my, actually people don't know that I have another pulpit on that Facebook platform. When I go there, is a pulpit just like this one. I don't take it lightly. I burn candles and sleep very late in the night, and you can imagine the typing and thinking and putting the revelation together. Somebody one day asked me, "Are you copying these things from somewhere?" And I said, "Even if you are copying, with the following I have, at least somebody should have known I'm copying somewhere." And if you check, if you know me closely, because there are people who copy this thing, even the one I'm posting, and they copy and they go and post somewhere. But we can read what you have written. And we can look at it and we cannot mix, we cannot connect with what is written. But if you know me closely and you read my article, then you can see me in what I'm writing. Are you following what I'm saying? It is if I preach by word of mouth, if I write it by hand, if you read my book, read my typing on Facebook, listen to me physically, you can see I am the one doing it. Are you following me? So yes, we are engaging it just on one phase. But I'm gonna do it. I want to do it again. There was a time you were doing the redeeming the firstborns, which you did very well. I think last year early. I want to do this year. We are going to do online school of ministry. We're gonna have every month. We're gonna have 2-3 days. We're gonna have people on one-on-one like this. This year we're gonna have school of prophets, like the way I used to do on YouTube. Yeah. I'm gonna also do it there. We're gonna have prophetic hour, like we used to do before. where we just come and teach people the word, pray with the people, and prophesy people. So we have been in a transition as a ministry, and one of the things a prophet need to have is the ability to discern moments and seasons. And not all seasons you must be out there. There are moments and seasons that is required of you to go back into your chambers, into the altar of prayer, where you and God has communion. So it's not every day you come out line. There are times you hide, and there are times you come out. So for the last 1 year or two, it's been my season of hiding. Not from people, but my time with God. Because if God sends you, there is a season you need to spend with Him for Him to help you redefine what He told you. Try to grasp the details of what you are supposed to do. Maybe you are not doing it right. Because when you are called into ministry, you are busy preaching, you are busy here, busy on Facebook, busy in church, busy crusade, busy this. You are busy with the people God sent you to, but you don't spend my time with the one who sent you. So for the season we've been in between, I've been trying to be with Him more, and I was also trying to also engage with the people He sent me to. But I'm trying to take. There was a time I was doing TikTok almost daily, Facebook, But the Lord said, "Could you hold that for a minute? Because there's a bit of baking that need to be done." What you need to understand is that Jesus is the bread.
Yes.
Okay? Jesus is the bread. God is the baker. The Bible is the recipe.
Amen.
My work as a preacher is to give people the bread. This bread must be fully baked, properly baked, sweet, not sour. I must consult with the baker, engage the baker, try to read the recipe, understand it properly, so that in case the bread has issues, I know where the problem comes from. Are you following what I'm teaching? So I've been in that season of trying to interact with the recipe, try to engage the baker, and trying to understand the bread. He said, "I'm the bread of life." And the other day he told the woman by the well, if you know the person talking to you, if you drink water that I will give you, you will not be thirsty again. So it's that season I've been in. I was in a pastor's meeting 2 weeks ago, and they said, "Prophet, for more than 1 year we have not seen you." And I told them that should be. I'm a prophet, I'm not a pastor. I'm not a reverend. I'm not a bishop. I'm not an apostle. I'm a prophet. So if I'm a prophet, then that should not be news. Yeah. There are moments I should disappear and just go and stay with God on the mountains.
Yes.
So when I disappear like that, is proper. So it is something that I'm thinking of doing, and very soon we'll begin to do them. But meanwhile, you must build capacity in areas where you feel and God maybe is telling you to do. So we've been in those kind of, and then the transition of church from one location to another also kinda destabilized one or two. So that is not the main problem. The main problem is there is a moment that you have to be with Him that is sending you, so that you have the terrain of where you are going proper, the map, and the well drawn, well explained. You don't need to go and ask people the direction. You need to pick direction properly before you start going. Like they say, white men, when they want to come to Africa for a holiday, they sit down, they search, they do all the research, which country they are going, the weather, what is going to happen, what kind of clothes they need to carry, how much money do they need to have, how many days are they going to be there, which places they are going to visit.
Is the place safe?
Is the place safe? What is the security like? Is there a wild animal? So ministry also, I realize, need that kind of introspective aspect. And one of the reasons why we young ministers have failed, you hear God and you're boom. So when you get there, you realize it's cold. You didn't carry jacket. When you get there, you realize there is wild animal. You don't have weapons. When you get there, you realize the money you carried is not enough. Ministry need money. So you begin to realize things. You're already there. And once you're already there, there's no going back. Yeah. So I've been in that scenario. Because that I've been in ministry for more than 10 years doesn't mean I've stopped learning. No, learning is progressive. And with God, you learn every day. Because what you thought you know today, tomorrow you realize you didn't know it proper. He keep unveiling and revealing Himself.
Within the corridors of Facebook, you have reached out to people who, by no other means, could they learn from you. Help us understand the thinking process. you mentioned when you write these, can we call them letters rather?
Yeah, letters.
When you write these letters, it is upon a reflection. You consider what you want to write, and then you bring all these ideas together. How did this begin? Did it begin as a thought that came into your spirit? Because you always use that word, that the Lord dropped something in my spirit. How would you say this began as something that you can pursue? How did it all begin?
Now, I've been doing, actually, the book that we are supposed to launch that we didn't launch is a product of my writing. My former PA saw what I was writing on Facebook. He said, "But what if we put these things together?" There is a book we have done on ministry, assistant ministers. The one we are supposed to have launched, the assistant minister, is a conglomeration, is an put together of letters that I was posting on Facebook. So what she did, she said, "Papa, can I just be link them from there, and we put it together, so that because there are people who may not reach it there, but can we have it on material that tomorrow you can put, because there are people who may not follow, and then when you post on Facebook, there are people who may not go back. You understand? Like the ones I've been doing for the last 2 months are not part of that book. So assistant minister's book was birthed by it. So it's something I've been doing as a way to minister to my online viewers when I stopped video live sessions. So I used to do it once a week or twice a week, not so much. But as time was going by and there was demand, the Papa, you are not coming live, just is raising a concern. A lot of my followers, I lost a lot of active followers and partners who were supporting the ministry. Say, Papa, you no longer come live, you don't post anything, so we lose touch. Would you be doing something, because we are your people and we are this far? Some are in Trinidad or Tobago, some are in the Europe, some in the US, some in Malaysia, and by distance they can't come. So the only way I can minister to them is either through a letter, by word of this, or by writing. Then I said, for the sake of my children that are following online, let me be putting some messages for them to learn even in a distance. So I used to do it once in a week or twice in a week. And the Lord said, when I used to do live, I would do it like almost daily. How come I want to do this once a week? Can't I just do what I used to do? Since now this one is even easier. It's just take time, 30 minutes, 1 hour, concentrate and put up some letter together and send it there. So I said, okay, then let me be doing it like 2, 3 times or 4 times a day as opposed to once a week. And when that happened, the message, I think the Lord spoke to me about 10th of December, but I did obey immediately. By around 15, 16, 17, thereabout of December, then the voice came again. He said, "My son, you are not doing it." Then I said, "Okay, I'll do it." So it's not like I don't know what to do. I've been doing it. There's even a book as an evidence. There's another one actually I'm believing God to put together from what I've written from December till now. If you put it together, it's even 2, 3 books. Because I think this one I've done more than I did that time. So then I was like, no, if I disobey this one, I know the repercussion. So I went into obedience. So what birthed what I'm doing now is obedience. But it's something I've been there, but I've been doing it like I'm not serious with it. Then I moved in straightly to obey. And then I started doing. And from December to now, in the last 2 months, we have got more than 20,000 followers. Fresh. Within 2 months. People
with the inspiration of the letters, how do you then do it? Do you have them pre-written, or anytime you post it's a fresh revelation for that time?
Okay. There are those that I do, like at that moment. I will sit somewhere, just having a fellowship, I pick a revelation. Then because I don't want it to leave me, I'll either drop it on my WhatsApp and keep it there. I will go and sit and develop it. These are my secrets I'm sharing here. Or some of it I will just on the keyboard immediately. And as I'm typing, I'm usually the kind that revelation flows as I speak. It's not pre-organized. In fact, even when I preach, I just do a layout. The rest of the things I preach are not in my notes. So if you collect my notebook and you go and check with your own that you wrote, you realize that yours is richer than mine. Because mine are usually just a sketch, so that I don't forget key things that I wanted to say. So when I write, I think I'm usually even deeper than when I preach. And like when I talk like this, I would catch more revelation than even when I'm preaching. Because when I'm collected like this, I easily download. So that helps me when I'm writing. Another side of it also, on the same, there are those that when I have time, like maybe I'm just in prayer or I'm just relaxing or something, I will just catch a revelation. When I catch revelations, because you can't post 2, 4, 5, 6 things at once, what do? I schedule them. Like now I have more than 30 scheduled, just awaiting for their time to be posted.
30.
More than 30. Actually, there should be around 46. You see, fully typed.
Wow.
So
anything you add to that adds to the number.
So whatever I do now, I've already posted until 15th of this month. Yeah. Everything you've been seeing from this month first is not posted this month, except 1 or 2 that I feel is for that moment that can't wait to be scheduled. Like maybe there's a word for the month, there's a word for the week, there's a word for the day. It will come in between, because I also have my timing of posting. I post between 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 10 or 11 p.m. I schedule within those times. So I know my timing of how I schedule. So I know if I pick a revelation, what time should I drop it so it doesn't collide with the other one. So whatever I pick between now and the 15th of this month, I schedule between 15th and 30th. So by the end of next week, I should have posted for the whole of this month. Because 15 days just need around 15 to 30 revelations. And it's very simple. I will just pick Joseph as a man and I build a lesson, teach about it. I'll pick Peter as a man. I'll pick the case of the woman of 9. I'll pick the case of Moses and the snakes, and the children of Israel bitten by a snake. God is telling Moses, prepare another sign of a snake. It's a revelation. Just one case study, and I will build a message and teach the people with it. So it's easy. And I know pastors who are preaching with this thing. Yeah.
So these are the products of.
And actually, somebody preached for me with my own message.
Okay.
Surprisingly. And I know there are those who are telling me, Prophet, please allow me to preach this thing.
Yeah.
But there are those who don't tell me, but I know. Yeah.
So, Papa, as we come to conclude today's episode, help us understand, particularly to do with the Facebook letters, as we would call them. They speak mostly to not only the wounded, but also they speak to the upcoming. How would you want your letters to not only impact the people, but particularly those who are not called into ministry? What is the end goal? How would you want your letters to reach out to those who are called in any other form or any other sector, which is not necessarily ministry? What is the impact that you want your letters to have on not only the youth, but also on every listener?
If you check my writings, they are mainly giving 2 or 3 approaches. I talk to the wounded, I talk to the upcoming, and I talk to the sons and daughters. These are 3 categories I speak to, which now cut across everybody. Anybody who has been wounded can be a youth, can be an elderly man, can be in ministry, can be in business. Anybody who is a son can also be a son of any ministry, a son who is into ministry but doing business. And so it talks about those. Those are my 3 target audience. Those that have been wounded, those who need to be encouraged, given hope. And the second group is talking about now the upcoming ministers, because I'm having a burden, because some of us, I would say we brought ourselves up. What do I mean by bringing ourselves up? We had to look for information everywhere. Nobody was there to sit us like this and tell us this is what, and I would say, like me, I would say without fear of contradiction, I think big time I would say I'm a self-made kind. Because there's no man of God in this country, and even out of this country, who can point a finger and say I made him. No man of God has officially endorsed me as a prophet and said on any big platform that this one is. There's no man of God who has given me money. There's no man of God who have sat me down and taught me ministry, taught me prophecy, taught me. I only think I sat down with Prophet Passion Java in South Africa and in Zimbabwe. Once, twice, I think so. And my father in the Lord, Prophet Owusu, I think once or twice. But after, I'm already in the prophetic, which I really appreciate their support as well, because it kind of shaped what I was doing. But I would say I worked hard without trying to demean anybody. So, what am I trying to say? These are three audiences that I am approaching. Where am I targeting them? I believe everybody out of 100 people, about 50% are dealing with something in their normal contemporary livelihood. And so, most people in their silence are handling something. I wrote about how to conquer spirit of masturbation. I've written on matters honor and loyalty. I've written on matters ministry and how to honor the man of God. I've written on matters how to start ministry. I've written on matters encouragement and faith. And I was talking about the case of David, when David said, "The Lord is my strength." I've written, I know everything because I write them myself. I've written about the woman of Nain and the scenario when Paul and Silas were in prison, when they praised the Lord and the power of praise. I've written, and I'm writing them with a target, because I know there's somebody who is not in the physical slavery or physical or a physical this thing, but somebody somewhere is dealing with something, right? So if somebody is dealing with something, when I write something and that whatever I've written, and if you check the comment section, out of 3 or 4 who are contrary, which I'm okay with it, because again, it's not normal for me to please everybody. It would be abnormal that everything I'm writing, everybody's clapping for me. I must check myself. So to me, when I see some people are saying that is nonsense, and I heard that I'm saying that now you are making what I'm doing perfect. Because how can everybody be saying, "Prophet, you're talking to me"? I can't talk to everybody. That I know. Because I can't be called to everybody. No. That I know. Even the whole Nairobi cannot come to my church. Kenya, the whole Kenya can't listen to me. So, but I know there's somebody I'm ministering to. So what am I saying? So there's a group that is challenged, that need encouragement, need strength. I minister to them. It cuts across. If you read, and I want you to take time this week and read with this revelation I'm saying, you will see actually there's nobody who I'm not targeting. If a youthful person comes, because we're talking about masturbation, to be precise, who am I addressing? I'm addressing mostly the youth. When I talk about relationship, who am I addressing? The youth. If I talk about young upcoming ministers, when I talk, the word young is relative. When I talk about upcoming, I'm talking about age. Because somebody can be upcoming, because God can call you at the age of 40 or 50. You are upcoming. You are young in ministry. So it's not age, it's relative. But again, the young by age can also associate with that very comfortably, because most people in their elderly age started a bit earlier. Rarely do you find somebody God calling at 50, 60. Majority got called a bit young. So there's a lot I'm doing there. I've talked about marriage, relationship. There's something actually I'm working on about divorce, separation. I'm also working on something to do with how do you call it? Polygamy. A number of things I'm putting together. There are those I've already scheduled, they'll come, and there are those I'm working on. You know, so that the youth is captured, the business, the corporate is captured, the pastors, the ministers are captured, a believer who just want to understand Christianity. But I talk to them now as believers, just a normal member. I speak with them mostly on encouragement, on faith-related matters, and the honor. Because I believe one of my daughter one day telling Papa, when you preach about fatherhood and honor and sonship, you talk until you are there that day. Yeah, I say we don't even know if God called you to preach that message. So I believe that one of the errors in this generation that is ailing this generation is fatherhood, sonship, and honor. The biggest thing that is killing the church today is the lack of honor. Sons don't know their place. Fathers, surprisingly, some fathers behave like sons. And that's why I keep saying that everybody who is old, age does not qualify them to be a father. You can have somebody who is young as Bushiri, but I can father you at 70. Because spiritual fatherhood has nothing to do with age. If age was guaranteeing wisdom, then we will not be having old fools. But you see people who are old but they are foolish. So long and short of what I wanted to say is, those are 3 target audience: the challenged, the upcoming or young ministers, and the body of Christ, to come to a place of understanding the value of fatherhood, sonship, and honor. Because fatherhood gives you inheritance. If I'm your pastor, you don't inherit anything from me. No. The best I can do, like I said before, is to shepherd you. And like I said, the shepherd does not eat what the flock eats. The flock eat grass, a shepherd eat bread. When the flock go to drink water, a shepherd carry their water in a bottle. But if I am your father, I must taste it before I give you. Go and check small children. Anything you eat, they want to eat it. That is fatherhood, sonship. I can't give you bread when you ask, snake when you ask me for fish. Like the Bible says, I can't give you stone and you're asking for bread. But as a shepherd, provided I take you to where there's green pasture, you go and eat. If you don't eat, you're on your own. When the time is up, you're going home. Simple. So I'm trying to bring the church to that place of understanding. And it's a burden I have. And something that I'm also trying to do is trying to bring the prophetic to a place of acceptance, mostly in this region. Kenya, to be precise, has accepted the prophetic that is foreign, but has fought so hard to accept the prophetic that is inborn. We appreciate Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Togo, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa. Bring it from America, we accept it. But don't tell us that one of us here can become a prophet. It takes us long to understand. So I'm also trying to work hard as a voice in that particular area to bring the prophetic voice to be understood, accepted. That's why in every year we run a conference called the Voice of the Prophet Conference.
For the time, Papa, we are grateful. My co-host, allow me to conclude.
Kindly,
the
I'm
episode.
blessed.
To those who have been following the unction upon our Father, to those from regions only known to themselves, to those who have been following what the Lord has been speaking through his voice, Prophet Robert Ouma, we thank you for tuning in. Next time we will meet again, God willing, for another episode of The Voice. Now, if you are blessed by this, then I can assure you the next episode will be better than this one. We thank you.